No, cut the music. Cut it. This ends now. There's been no football team more dominant on the road than Josh Heupel's Tennessee Volunteers. Let's observe the great moments away from Neyland Stadium. Behold, the reason Shane Beamer still has a job. Playoff hopes on the line and the entire Volunteer program died on this day. Spencer Rattler put up more numbers than Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes wish they could in a single game. They fucked the Volunteer secondary so many times it went under labor instantly with sextuplets. A golden ticket to the playoffs because adjustments during a football game is a non-factor at Tennessee. Hopefully this will change soon. Behold, the reason Billy Napier still has a job. The best chance you had to beat Florida in the Swamp for the first time since I was still shitting in my diaper. What did they show up with? A defense and an elephant's asshole they called the offense. Joe Milton was so excellent in this game he managed to not overthrow every pass. The ones he actually did make were to the other team though. Instead of switching our game plan, we went with the play call named Shit on Your Own Hands and Clap. The best fight this team put up was after the game because adjustments during a football game is a non-factor at Tennessee. Hopefully this will change soon. Behold, the reason Sam Pittman still has a job. Despite having an offense only capable of scoring against lower tier teams last season, it has somehow regressed even fucking further. Nico, I'm trying to do something for you, and Dylan Sampson were the only two guys on offense who bothered to show up. The offensive line was more like offensive air, unless it was time to hold again. The offensive game plan consisted of screens and inside runs because apparently our playbook is just a Dr. Seuss poem. Top 5 team in the country, and they only could stay like that for 1 week because adjustments during a football game is a non-factor at Tennessee. Hopefully this will change soon. Behold, the reason Ryan Day still has a job. Every single Ohio State fan on planet Earth was ready to fire Ryan Day into the sun. Tennessee's fan base went through all the effort to pack their checkered overalls and Twitter followers straight to Columbus to take over almost a third of their stadium. I sure do hope the team shows up with them. What can go wrong? Oh no. From play number 1, the Volunteers got burned to smithereens, annihilated beyond imaginable extent. Nico did just about everything he could, breaking his own helmet just trying to bring some sort of light back onto the orange. But that light was swiftly snuffed out by the exact same things that have been happening to us all season. It looked like they matched the 85 Bears against a group of babies with no arms or legs. Brutality doesn't even describe it. This result made Indiana and SMU look as if they were spared beyond anything. I've said it many times and I'll say it again here. The first round is great for whittling out frauds and pretenders. Tennessee proved to me that they were the great almightiest fraud of them all. From the word go, they were outmatched, out-physicaled, and out-coached. Ohio State spent 3 weeks making adjustments after their loss, and they took and actually spent time perfecting their playbook to ensure little mistake. As usual, we did the absolute same things we always did because adjustments during a football game is a non-factor at Tennessee. And guess what? It will never, ever change. Strap yourselves in. I'm done hyping you up. It's time you are at the opposing end of my wrath. The Vols aren't world beaters. In fact, they're not even close. They spent the entire season getting punked on offense, sucking off the tits of the superior defense to bail them out of their own incompetence. Inferior talent was going toe-to-toe with Tennessee weekly, only falling short because the Vols had high-end talent as a get-out-of-jail-free card. We were all led to believe you were gods because what, you scored 69 points on Chattanooga and Kent State? Meanwhile, every time you faced an SEC opponent, you were lucky to score 20. It was one issue after the next. Bad quarterback play, offensive linemen that were better at holding than blocking, receivers who were taped to the secondaries, drop after drop after drop, terrible punting in critical moments, defensive backs getting toasted at the worst possible time imaginable. But all of these mistakes, every single one, could be forgiven if it weren't for the absolute pile of AIDS that you call coaching. A play style consisting of 3 plays, run up the middle, screen, or whatever the absolute fuck that stupid ass shovel pass is. It never worked. It never will, and you're gonna keep doing it until it does, which it never will. Time and time again, we keep running the exact same plays, and when we don't, it's at the most inconvenient times imaginable. Options on 3rd and long, pitch routes on 3rd and long, dump-offs to the running backs on 3rd and long. Why is it always 3rd and long? Because we spent the first 2 downs running it up the middle! Whatever creativity Alex Golesh's offense had left with him to South Florida, the once legendary Josh Heupel offense has become as dull as a 2001 Honda Civic. And no, the defense isn't spared either. I can't tell you how many 3rd downs I've watched teams get on us because all of our defensive backs are in a different country when they're played. Oh, but make sure to prevent the big plays, though, by letting them get 15 yards apiece! The first 3 years under this coaching staff, there was an excuse for this. Chick-fil-A Pruitt left this program with nothing but tumbleweeds, and Josh Heupel and his staff have done a great job building it into a relevant program. But the major problem here, you're not elite. And you're not close. And what pisses me off about that is y'all act like you are, implementing a 10% talent fee on hardworking people who are already having to sell their kidneys just to watch a football game here. Just to watch us get bent over by our rivals on the recruiting trail and on the field. Elite teams don't barely scrape by all of their opponents on a weekly basis. You know what elite teams do? They adjust. They adjust their roster, playbook, and their play calling. And Tennessee never did that. Not once. Nothing ever changed. So what happens when you have a team with preparation in mind versus one who doesn't? This result was the macrocosm of everything from this year. All the bullshit, all the lucky wins, all the unused talent on the field. I'll ask you again, since you want to tax your fans further with all that talent we have. Where is the talent you promised us? This is a scam. A shameful, pathetic attempt at a scam. Thousands of dollars will be spent watching us get bent over by Billy Napier. I'm saying his name without the emphasis. Look what you've done to me. And to top it all off, it's never ever going to change. We will be stuck here because Heupel is friends with all these coordinators who wouldn't even cut it at JV high school. We're going to be stuck here in purgatory forever. And it's a deserving fate for me. Yep, that's the worst part. The dumbest one here, the one who is having to bite it the most right now here on YouTube, is at fault for all of this as well. That's, you guessed it, me. For years I've been on here hyping up my team, telling everyone and everything against us that they suck and that they're inferior to the great Tennessee Volunteers, just to observe as they let me down, and I have to come on here and get belittled to the shadow realm. Hate video after hate video after hate video, I get right back up the very next week and lay it back on whoever we play. Just to be called midway through my walk of shame to hear some asshole say he owns me. It's exhausting. Tiresome to such an extent I can't even describe it. I get there are other fans of other teams right now watching this and wishing to be in the playoffs. You want to know what the big difference is? They don't get up week after week making videos belittling the opposing team. To be honest, that's not who I am either. So you might be asking, why do I do it then? I really don't know. But if I can't expect my team to change what they're doing by any point, I'll change. Trash talking is part of the game of college football, but it's certainly not my expertise. I'm sure you know that by now. So I'm through. It's fun getting up every day to scream and yell about other teams, but I do that anyway. No point spending further time doing that. So even if Tennessee winds up becoming the elite program I wish it would, being loudmouth and obnoxious just isn't in it for me. Yeah, I know, big shocker, the Vol fan doesn't want to be loudmouth and obnoxious. So I think it's time to put the so-called hate videos to rest. You can go ahead and put your keyboard to good use to bury me in the comments and say that Ohio State broke me, but I'll do the honors myself as well. This program broke me the moment I chose this path. I'm a Vol for life, and nothing will ever change that. For spearheading this fan base and being one of the loudest of them all, me, Squidtard Sports, has been gifted Clown of the Season. See you next year when we go through this shit all over again. Go Vols.